Into the straight at the 150. Pride of Jenny a half length. Amelia's Jewel moves up on the outside. Takes Pride of Jenny. Is coming clear. Great pipe opener. Bring on the Cox plate. Amelia's Jewel 3/4 of a length.
Welcome to Bet Doctor Behind the Curtain. Look at how pro punters operate. I'm your host Scoot. I'm joined in the Gold Coast, sunny Gold Coast, with Johnny Walter. Everest week up and about.
I double dropped the what's that stuff?
Ritalin.
No, I had that. And what else do I have? What's that other stuff?
You need a lot to
Pre-workout.
get.
Oh,
Pre-workout.
It's going to be a long show for you.
Is it?
Yeah, especially with some of the pre-show talk about the horses you're declaring. Oh, you're up against it.
It's going to be a great show. I feel good things are going to happen here. And first off, I'm off the bat. Public apology, King's Gambit. It isn't a flea.
I thought, wow.
The Red Sea parted.
I think
Saloon Passage.
I'm taking blame in my preview where I admit I was wrong. I think I marked it $17. I might have let it a little bit out. I said it needs a Stephen Bradbury-like situation, and it kind of got that, didn't it? Like I don't know what Timmy was doing, going for lane 8 and opening up the highway for Tommy to come up. But jury's still out. That whole race was weird. I was wrong, but I'm still worried.
Osmosis, yeah. I said, maybe next prep. You sort of laughed at me. What about this prep? And then Celestial Legend. Did they think there was another 200, 400 metres? Another weird ride.
Well, I think McAvoy's actually retired. I don't know if he actually tries anymore.
Is Jamie retired?
Yeah.
Jamie Sparr?
Well, she's got excuses. Yeah, poor old Celestial, he just seems like he's a half run behind and he's a half run behind in the run. And like he ran similar sections to the winner and it didn't look like that, did it, visually? So he's on track for something. I just don't know what it is. I wouldn't be surprised if Les packed him up and bought him back in the autumn, and he's a serious horse.
DK, Nico, welcome to the show down in Melbourne.
Oh, we are here. Oh, yeah.
Well, you are. You're 20 minutes late, but you're here.
The Sydney Bet Doctor show. Fair dinkum.
Hey?
Yeah, we're here.
You're running a bit late
I'm
there.
off my head. I've just sat in gridlocked. I'll tell you what, Nico, like, to keep yourself motivated on the pun, after you've been going a long time, you're getting to my age, like, the number one thing I do if I've had a bad losing run and so on, I go look at Seek, see what's there, and it just motivates you just to get back on the bike and just keep going hard on the punt because it's just shit. And the other one is sitting in fucking gridlock traffic with all the other pickles, it's piss and rain. Took me twice the time to get in here. It's just another motivation to get home and just keep back and winners. Like, seriously.
Wouldn't happen at the Gold Coast.
Oh, mate, it's horrendous out there this morning. Horrendous. How are you, Nico?
Yep, better than DK. But I did sit in the traffic as well. But looking forward to Saturday. Terrific racing in Sydney and a belter card at Caulfield as well. So plenty of races to bet in. I think you got to pace yourself across the weekend, but it's going to be terrific racing.
Now, I'm wearing the Masters hat because John and I went to the Masters with one of the owners of Gold Trip, who you said couldn't win a Hotham. So, what
about when you introduced me to that bloke? He's off his choppers and the thing, and I was ready to stab him and go home from Augusta, and then no, he did turn out a good fella. No, he's all right, young man. But
apology for his horse. It won like far lap the other day.
Mate, you want apologies from 18 months ago. You make 35 terrible statements a week, and you're holding me to one where I said no feet, no horse, and every start they go off, and they're like, we just can't believe this thing's feet are falling off, and it just keeps running like far lap. But no, he's a very, very good horse, isn't he? Like when he's able to show what he's capable of, but he's 2 runs back this time. It'll be great, and doesn't look like there's much competition around if he holds that level. But the second horse, in reflection, was an astronomical run for a bit further.
Nico, you saw all these horses in the yard. I noticed Gold Trip, you had third pick. I still didn't make it a winner despite $30 being on the boards. Silly me. But what's your takeaway from the Turnbull and a couple of those big races?
Well, he probably found a really good setup for him, out the back in a fast run race. A few of those horses that were close to the speed probably really copped it late, and he ran up to, somewhere near his best figures in the Melbourne Cup. So if he can do that again in a Caulfield Cup or a Cox Plate, you think he's going to be thereabouts again. Romantic Road definitely needed a run from a Mounting point of view. I think the easiest way to explain him is just too fresh. So I think you'll definitely take a lot of improvement out of that. Wouldn't necessarily be ruling him out for a Cox Plate, but probably doesn't have the stranglehold on it that we thought. And Sulcombe and a few others look good hit outs for the Cups. But Gold Trip, I don't know where they go. There's still a lot of speculation. Read that.
He wouldn't even. I was listening on the way in. He wouldn't commit either.
Yeah.
Sort of saying, it's in the. He wouldn't.
He could run in all 3 again.
He could. That's it. Why not? Just and if there's gets a bit of sting out, bit of rain like today.
Yep.
I think that was the key though on the weekend, wasn't it? That his feet were right and he was able to get. There's that bit of jar out of the track from the rain the previous week, and he got his toes into it and that's the perfect track for him. But I'm with Walt. Second horse was extraordinary run. Extraordinary. Like,
What was the second horse? West Wind Blows?
West Wind Blows. Oh, mate. The work it did in the run and then was still finding the line. Like, they're all getting to it and then it went again. And its last section's like, it's terrific for further. Oh, yeah, I was with Wild. It was a massive run. 4 wide, had to roll up outside of Froggy going 10 lengths above standard and still found to hit the line. Like, extraordinary run.
And what horse is that going to go to the Caulfield Cup or Cox Plate, Nico?
Caulfield Cup.
Yeah, he'll be equal favourite
he's equal
for the
favourite.
Caulfield Cup without a fight, and Solcombe probably third pick, I would have thought. So, yeah, it's going to be a terrific race, and you've got a few horses.
Solcombe just keeps falling out of the gates. It's going to be, he's drawing low and he's been able to suck through lately, but I know he's going good and he's hitting the line, but he's not stopping falling out of the gates. Every start he's doing the same
He's
thing.
giving away a big advantage to a few of the others, isn't he?
Yeah, and if he's going to have to go back and come around him, it's a different scenario. He's been able to suck through on the inside lately, but he's going good. I'm not knocking that.
Timmy had the lead on it.
Blake could bounce it out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, so Blake could bounce it. He rode it, didn't he? He won on it, didn't he, first up?
Be shin.
Jamie, give it the spar out the back. All right, it's going to be an absolute ball terror. I got a feeling from some of the pre-chat chatter, waiting for DK to roll in. Donnie's pretty bullish at Eagle Farm and going to take on a couple that Walt doesn't have much of an opinion on, at least one anyway. Got the Everest, the Silver Eagle, and hopefully another little moral or a good little betting race there up in Sydney at Randwick. Weather looks good. Nico Kona Sana was a cracker at the Valley.
What?
GG's.
Did I watch the same race as you?
Well, it won.
You said it trotted up on the run sheet. It's won by a long neck. The 3 things charging at it. Another 3 bounds, it gets beat. Anyway, it's still
Mate, a collect for Nick is an exciting situation.
GG's Gemstone, another one that trotted
pissed
up.
in too, didn't it, Nico?
Fell in. But what you're saying, DK, no stories on the scoreboard.
No room on the scoreboard for stories. That is exactly right. Just put the 1 or 0 down.
DK, did you watch Scoot's moral in Adelaide last week? The superior turn of foot it showed.
Camel.
When does the turn of foot kick in?
I think I'm going to look at the
Good luck
race,
teeing off on Walt Scoot. Jeez,
it was terrible, that one. Needs 2,500.
Mate, Adelaide, mate, no good.
Yeah, I'm going to put myself back at the Caulfield this week. I think
You'll probably find Adelaide horse knowing you.
Huh?
Oh my God.
I'll put my hand up for that one. That was definitely all my fault. That
turn
one.
of foot. I set 3 alarms to make sure I didn't watch that after the preview. I'm watching if this thing's got a turn of foot.
It's all right.
Holy crap. DK and I get married next week. Oh my God.
Bounce back. You just got to keep picking yourself up off the canvas. I tell you what, I think we've found the key to Hazza. He's a fresh horse all over Star Patrol last week. It was too strong. He's going to have a week off this week and he's back next week. So gap between runs, I think that's his go. But ball's on the line. It was short and he declared it. So
he's another horse with dodgy feet that's just got a huge engine, isn't he?
It's good win.
It was interesting.
Just to butt into it, did it completely the opposite way than what it did the start before.
Yeah.
Like it was fastest late on the weekend, where the other day it was fastest early. So he's a good horse on that. As Walt said, he's got some issues, but what are they going to? Champion Sprint or something, huh?
Yeah, I think they'll keep him fresh for that last day of the carnival. And do you think of the ratings he's sort of producing, he'd be somewhere thereabouts. He's probably not one of our top sprinters, but that race, they can the top sprinters can be over the top a bit, that Champions Day, and all the top horses that race in those races. And we saw last year, Nature Strip and Gear Kick went at their best and Rockin' Horse won. So it's probably the right race for a horse like him to hit, nice and fresh and just in the zone, which he is.
Great training performance with Clinton with this horse. And I did hear, because I think maybe Walt and a few of us were a little bit worried he might be flat, but I think he said after the race that only galloped him once, so they just kept him ultra fresh, and they were really mindful that they didn't want to gut him after that first up run. So really good training performance.
And they're just getting
there.
smarter, aren't they? I mean, as punters, all of us, the first thing you think in the 3 weeks, got to have 3 weeks off that run. There it is, 3 weeks. They're just a lot smarter, the trainers these days.
TopSport Steamer getting smarter. They did the Macarena was heavily backed, and gee, that was an easy watch.
I knew what they were doing there. Jesus.
Well, it wasn't an easy watch. They'd sat outside of fast speed, but it just gapped them anyway. It's just a bloody good horse.
Have they turned the corner, the Hawk Stable?
In Sydney, not in Melbourne.
It's a big bend. It's a big bend, and they're probably a long way, from getting around it.
Their winners in Melbourne are coming from Sydney. They're not the ones that are prepped up here.
So nothing down here.
I would say that's probably the edge in the Melbourne horse at the moment. If they've run in Sydney and then come down, like Fajita Sand that won at Sandown a few weeks, it's probably the right play.
What do you?
Well, they just write everything negative, isn't it? Just weird that Macarena sat outside the leader 2 starts in a row and won. Like they're just out the back on every horse. Anyway,
not happy.
Most of them with a little flapper upon it that can find a dead end. Hey, old mate Zachy, Jesus, he's not in my good books.
TopSport are in our good books. They're big sponsors of the show, and they've been in the game for 40 years. So they'll be hopefully pinning the ears back this week. Everest, big betting race for them, no doubt. And when they put the odds up, they bet minimum bet laws. So a lot of operators wait, but they put the odds up and then they bet. So make sure you get an account with them and give them a crack. And hopefully they can do a little bit of bob over the spring, hearing perhaps good things on the horizon for TopSport. So a little bit of hope.
It's good.
Yeah, which is good. So they're obviously
Bathurst too. Bathurst. So it's all Bathurst. Watching Bathurst. There's the big TopSport thing down the back straight or wherever it was. Sponsoring Bathurst or doing whatever he's doing.
Good show. What was it, 6 or 7 hours of just circle work?
It's a
a
good
tough
track.
watch,
I
isn't it?
don't know. It's you only tune into Bathurst when it rains, mate.
Yeah.
Well, because they end up trees and everything. It goes crazy when it rains around that joint.
Yeah,
I think it
last year
dry.
was crazy. They were going everywhere. But he's got a mortgage on him, that New Zealand driver. What's his name? Van Gisbergen. He just kills him.
Yeah, you're having a bad day if Bathurst on the menu for mine. Caulfield, bit of rain about Nico. I'd say there's going to be roughly 10 to 15 mil prior to Saturday. Thoughts track with that rain?
Oh, it'd be perfect. I think
Just means they won't have to irrigate, won't
they've
it?
prepared for it, haven't they? And they said this morning, I've heard that they've said this morning that'll be still a good fall because they probably won't have to put as much irrigation on the track, which I think is perfect for where the track could play. It's, nearly a perfect scenario. We had similar at Flemington where you get all the rain before the meeting and then it's top notch for the day. So, this time of year, if they have to get the irrigators out a lot, can create lanes and all that kind of rubbish. So Saturday should be perfect conditions, you would have thought. So keen to bet up.
Beautiful. Love hearing that. Race 1 at Caulfield is the Beck Grand Handicap over 1,700. And this is where one of your best bet comes up. Kettle Hill, $5 favourite, Far Flung. Good winner from you last time at $5. Matron at Bullwinkle, one of mine, $6.50. Convener, $9. MacTube, $9.50. Albanian, I Am, $12. Our Empress Zoe, $12. Chicago Bear from the Dubbo Cup. Some weird things with this horse, $14. Worst Fold, $17. Red Sun Sensation, $18. Thought Provoking, 18, Grand Piero 21, and that'd probably round out the chances here. But Kettle Hill was the eye catcher you thought first up. Had a few convictions, this horse, but big finish here.
Yeah, he has. This was a good race. This was a benchmark 84, and a lot of these horses sort of are bringing in this stronger form. To his inside's Wishlaw Lass, who's come out and won since, and she goes into the Ladies' Day Vase favourite for Reddy, battling away there in second. He's come out and run well since, and Golden Path back to the inside. He had a big boom on him. Probably didn't run up to his best in the Southdown Stakes, but he's a better horse than that. I thought this was a good run. Really hit the line well. First up over 1,300 metres. He's had a little bit of a gap between runs, about 30 days, but he gets to the mile and he gets Mark Zara going on for the first time. We did trial this horse leading to this campaign. I think they might have just worked him out. He's always shown a lot of talent. His SP profile suggests that he's never started longer than $5.50 here in Australia. On that day, he was off the map in betting. So he's been a little bit costly. I think probably his best run last preparation, he bumped into Muhamek, who was absolutely flying at the time and, went up to Queensland and was racing against Antino. So I think now second up, Mark Zara going aboard. He's a bit of a go-to for the stable. And I thought just from the map, he might be able to get a really good run from barrier number 5. And on a day where you could label a lot of them, like most punters are going to, I thought this might be one at sort of $5. You could have something on and you give you a really good run for your money. I would expect him to at least run a place if you're looking to play that way. But I think around $5, he's probably one of the better value chances on the day where there probably isn't much hanging around. So I thought $5 was a good price.
Couple of horses that caught my eye. Obviously, Albanian I Am was one that you tipped a couple of starts ago, Nico, held up at the Valley, and then the other horse that I didn't mind in this one was MacTube. Yeah,
I hope MacTube goes to Hamilton in the Country Series race, worth, I think, $80,000 there, and then they get into a $500,000 final if they run top 2. So if he goes to Hamilton, I think you can definitely back him. He was a good run last start at Flemington. And Albania I Am, he's going well. Maybe think he's a big track horse, so maybe getting back to Flemington as well for him might be suited, but he could also go to Hamilton. So I thought with a few things to play out, this race could even get weaker than what it is at the moment. I don't think Far Flung's much of a danger coming through inferior form, just had the right run last start, probably got our money out of him. And Kettle Hill just looks the one that's a bit deadly, second up with MZ.
Any thoughts here, DK?
Oh, not really. Didn't have a great look. Just I was looking at a couple of Albania IMs, one of mine, because same thing. I found it when I won at Flemington, and Another one similar. It's Red Sun Sensation. I thought it comes out of that. What race had Amenable when Amenable got beat? The thing just got up the front and Buffalo River and ran him. They'd be a lot fitter for that, and it's stepping up in trip.
Yeah, a few good judges tipping him. So,
Right.
you can make case of 20s for sure.
Yeah, well, that's the right odds for Moody. I mean, how'd Legacies go last week? I mean, Legolas, like another Moody favourite, just cast. Anyway.
DK's little Moody model. Sub $3. Be interesting to run the stats and see how that goes. All right, Nico's going to try and bookend it with his best bets, and this won't be a surprise to many. We're going to race 10, the Toorak, and Amelia's Jewel has opened up short favourite here, 235 into 210. No scratchings there. Antino $7, drawn 17's a worry. Prior to Jenny $12, The Inevitable $13, Here to Shock 14, Pinstriped 18, Amenable 19, Pounding 21, Attrition 21. And then you got horses like Corner Pocket, Myoba and Ironclad, and the rest. Amelia's Jewel, we spoke about this one. Absolute cracking ride here from Damien Lane.
Yeah, it was probably a good ride from Froggy as well. Really
Great ride from Frog.
took a lot of the other chances out of the race, and she's just way too good for Amelia's Jewel. Like, just watching this replay, just look how soft she is. Like, they've gone so fast early. They've broken the track record. He's barely even hit her with the whip. I just can see her really improving off this run. I think she's really set to peak there third up. I think she's going to have another fast run race. Toorak, they never go that slow. And there's a lot of horses that want to spot early, and probably a few horses that are going to be up on top of the speed that don't have a lot of chance. So prior to Jenny's in this race, she's usually a bit slow away, but they've obviously found the key to riding her. She led in the Coolmore and nearly pinched it, and then their last start. So they're probably going to be all guns blazing to lead, even if she is slow away, which could force a few of the others. What does Antino do from the draw? So I think she's going to find a very another fast run race, which I think will be perfect coming out of that event. And I just don't think we've seen anywhere near the bottom of her. Her wins over in Ascot, she was pretty dominant there, winning the Kingston Town. That form ties in through Cascadian. All of her runs this campaign, betting life lessons. You can tie that into a few of the better horses because she beat Princess Grace. And I think you can make a real case throughout her career she should be unbeaten. I reckon if Damien Lane was riding her over in Ascot, she will run those two races. So
100%.
I think she's really good. I think she's probably one of the best milers we have in the country. I would be backing her to win the Weight for Age race on Saturday at the right price, and I think this is just a gimme. She's not thrown in at the weights, but she's weighted pretty well, getting the mare's allowance and the minimum weight of 52 kilos. So she's only going to give 4 kilos to the horses on the minimum, and she's a much better horse. So perfect race shape. Damien Lane just keeps her out of trouble from barrier 12. And should just be winning. I thought she was probably the best of the spring. To be honest, I can't see her getting beat.
How's the way she was just sort of skipping along between the 4 to the 200 there in that replay? You're right. She looked like she was just absolutely...
She got a lot out of that.
Hey?
Got a big response from that.
Well, she just looked like she was absolutely jogging.
No, she did.
I can remember Winks going around the valley and how balanced that she was. And that's the horse that I immediately thought of. If this horse runs 2,000 metres, Christ almighty, it's going to be hard to beat in the Cox Plate if she can get to that sort of trip.
Especially if she's running in the Golden Eagle.
You think she's going to go that way?
No,
Yeah, I think that's I think it's leading more that way.
I'd go that way for the money. Yeah, I'd go that way for the money, but
I think it is.
that's just
And
me
I think with
because I like money.
the nature of what the Toorak potentially could be, it could be a very fast run race. Then she's going to have to go, track record at Moonee Valley into a fast run Toorak and say she wins. Where does that leave her for a 2,000 metre race in 2 weeks? I think it'd be much easier to bring her back to 15, keep her nice and fresh. I'd be going to the Eagle.
I think it's more Simon too, because he's obviously from here. He's grown up passionate racing man. He's always loved the Cox Plate, where the owner's a bit more. He's from WA.
Mate, you can see,
the prize money.
like you say, Miller's sick to win the Cox Plate. He's sick to win the Cox Plate. You can just feel it, can't you? Like, he couldn't give a shit about the money. No. But,
he had the best night of his life there the other night when she won that night. Sitting down there on the floor drinking cans and high-fiving the punters. It was the biggest thing. Imagine Cox Plate Day.
I think he'd rather get beaten the Cox Plate and run a race than win the Golden Eagle, I would say.
Yeah.
Like from a personal.
I think they're still tossing it up, but geez, the Inevitable run well, won't he?
It's got to be the only
it's got to be the chance.
It's got to be the only $13. I know the favourite. It is good price for mine.
It is coming out the worst Epsom in the history of the world, but yeah.
No, like
him and Pinstriped just seem like the horses that have really set their prime. Pinstripes obviously won the fee and kept nice and fresh, likes fast run races, run prior, bumped into Mr. Brightside at Caulfield. him probably attrition and the inevitable were the ones I thought he'd play if you want to play exotics. But yeah, I'd be surprised if she's getting beaten Amelia's Jewel. I think, the days to come are probably for the connections and Saturdays for the punters. Saturday's the day you can get a really good result out of her.
Yeah, I completely agree. Like first up 1400, I was worried about her being underdone. Second up to a mile wouldn't suit a horse with her profile. She may end up, 2,000 metre plus horse, but yeah, she just screams like she's going to peak here.
It was just the way Frosty rode her too there. Like he knew he'd used her early, knew he was chasing Froggy on a fast horse and still was kind to her, like knowing she'd just get it done for him, So just the arrow. Sometimes I look at that, how confident the jockeys ride him, especially on first starters or things that, they say, fuck, geez, why is he riding it? He must have a good opinion of this horse, even if it got beat.
Like he hasn't even used the whip.
Nah. And they've run a track record. Like,
Scary. All right, we might just flick through a couple quick ones. Alligator Blood Race 7, Might and Power. This is an interesting one. Just fine. $4 in that market. Dewey looks like it's flying. Lindeman's going okay.
Just Fine.
I'd love to just lay the guts out of Just Fine. It just, huh?
Yeah, they forgot to nom it for the Caulfield Card. It's the only reason it's in here.
Whoa.
And, it's just not going to. Yeah, I don't know whether they'll use it as a bunny or the only thing that scares me in this race, I had a good look at it with Timmy, is this horse Deny Knowledge. Number one, why is it in the race? 2, why have they left the jockey on it? And 3, what's it going to do? It just looks like it's going to go psycho every race, and hopefully it sort of bounces and maybe clears them and is a bunny for the rest of them, because it could create some carnage if it sort of half misses it and takes off.
Well, that was the problem last start. She was in that stocks and she missed the start, and then she got crossed and they just had to take their medicine. Same thing happened in the fee, and she missed the start, and then they worked to the lead and went at that breakneck tempo, and she was just fading late. But I would have thought if she misses the start from 2, Lindemann was ridden quiet last start from 1. I think they'll be looking to take him at 2,000 metres. And then it's really just what Just Fine and Alligator Blood do. I know a lot of people saying, this could be a very high pressure, fast tempo race. But if Deny Knowledge misses the start and Timmy's just straight on there, straight to the fence, takes the lead, Just Fine doesn't want the lead, she could just be pocketed and might not even have a chance to go around him. I can't see Maria leading on Lindemann from 1.
No way.
I think there could be... if this is a slot, I think there is a chance this could be a lot slower run than people think, just because the way they could get out of the barriers. Obviously, if Deny Knowledge jumps and she beats them all out, well, then it's a completely different race. But it was a fascinating race to do the form on from that point of view. And I think a lot of people probably have the angle that it's just going to be this fast run race. But if Timmy just jumps, finds the lead, and Deny Knowledge is stuck behind them, what are they going to do? It's going to be the same as last start.
Yeah, there's no way Just Fine's going to be busting Alligator Blood if that's how it falls.
This will just be tick overruns. Have they nominated it? It's all sweet for the Melbourne Cup, though, isn't it?
Who's that?
Do you get an automatic? You just in with the Metro?
Just Fine's in the Melbourne. Yeah, I don't know how the heck it's going to. Well, maybe it will run the trip, but yeah, its runs have been astronomical. The 3 runs we've seen, and it's just
unbelievable.
You just want it to line up in the Caulfield Cup,
and it's Gonski. Can't get there. Amazing stuff. Uncommon James and Asfora, a bit of a coin flip on that one. Any strong opinions either way?
I think probably back up to 1,100 probably suits Uncommon James a bit more. I think she's really best at 1,000 metres as for her. At her best, she's good. She can do it 1,100, but I think it suits him better at up to 1,100.
Yeah, I think she's probably hit her peak for the preparation on the way down, and I think he's probably not at his peak on Saturday. I think he'll peak 3rd up. So I wouldn't be shocked at all if Ingratiating gives him a fair run from the box seat with B Shin on, but he probably need a few things in his favour to beat them if they're not at their best. But yeah, it does look a bit of a match race there.
Tricky one there. And
Bryce has sent Keegan Latham to Caulfield to ride one.
Isn't that odd?
What is he doing, the big man?
Hey?
He sent Keegan to Caulfield. Oh, my goodness.
Has he just lost a couple of phone numbers there?
Oh, that's a weird one. Yeah, it's a horse. It's a track you want to have ridden before Caulfield, but anyway.
Crazy, isn't it? And then the other one the Herbert Powers come up weak, I thought. Carini's $2.50 favourite just by default, I thought, Nico.
Yeah, we got a good result out of him last start, Carini. I like this horse, United Nations. The horses out of that 2,500 metre race at Flemington that went to the Bart Cummings, most of them overachieved, and I think that was a really good lead-in for that race, and it was a very fast run 2,500, and Carini doesn't have that platform. He's 17 up to 24, so I think United Nations is the big danger. But Carini's obviously got a lot more upside. And I think Danny O'Brien said this morning, if you can't win that, well, there's probably no point pressing on to any of the other bigger races. So, yeah, you're probably just waiting for the right run there with Carini. But I think he's been 290 to 250 and wouldn't surprise if he jumps shorter.
My horse went okay. My little quaddie number horse, Dacquin Sweet Jr. Last time, I thought Blake Shin it might be a bit of a knockout. Goes Stackhouse to Blake Shin. It's probably one of the worst Herbert Powers I can remember in quite some time. So it's going to be a cracking races at Caulfield, and we'll have a look at the Guineas later. But if you want Nico's mounting yard, make sure you subscribe to his Telegram package.
Why are we holding up for the Guineas? Is it because it's your race?
Moral. I got a moral.
So, okay, so as long as we're going to cover it.
But I'm going to do you. Going to do you next, and then we'll go back to it. Just to build up the anticipation.
Okay.
Anyway, Nico's Telegram is $25 a week, so you have to buy it throughout the spring. He does all the metros. He gets some Friday nights at the Valley, and just the final word. He loves just a little bit of a launch job. So if he's going to triple stamp my moral in the Guineas.
Bet of the spring.
What's that? Amelia's
That sounds like a launch.
Amelia's Jewel.
Bet of the spring.
Yeah. He's very keen. Or it was 8-0 done deal at Benalla in the Cup until they scratched it.
Well, collect.
Hey?
Collect.
Too good. All right, it's time for Walty up at Randwick, and we're going to go head first into race 3. It's the old Reginald Allen, and it's over 1,400 metres here. Odds courtesy of TopSport. Arctic Glamour is the favourite here, $2.40. Jolie Star, $6. Kundalini is $7. Aditi is $7.50. Zelta is $9.50. Queen of Dragons, $10. Broadcaster is $17. And we got a bit of a roughie here too. Kind Words is $21, which also picks John's interest. But the first replay we're going to have a look at here is Arctic Glamour from the Ryan Alexio yard.
So this looked a good thing, but the fence was good. It was sort of up on speed. The rail was out a long way, and halfway through the run, I was about to put my head through the television when the great man Kerr decided to go to the fence for whatever reason. I thought he half butchered this horse here, and what this horse does late is pretty special. Like, it's just really opening the margins. Nothing else is doing a lot in the race. I don't think it was a super strong race by any means, but just what she does to them, the arrogance again, like running away, he's pricked, always a good sign. I just think she's just got way too much upside for these horses. Pretty much simple as that. There's picking holes in setups for a lot of the other horses in the race. There's nothing well set up. She's ideally set up. 1,400 is not going to be any issue whatsoever, and I think it's going to take a pretty something to go wrong actually for her. Well, I expected to start shorter too. I thought once sort of betting went up yesterday, she'd be one of those early targeted. We seem to see those sorts of horses
truckloaded.
Well, truckloaded, and they might get out a bit later towards the start, but yeah, there's not much. There's good speed. You've got sort of Jolly Star, Aditi, enough speed in the race. Zelta, all drawn wide, and she should just. The only worry is it is drawn a little bit awkward, but having a chat to him already, I thought, if he's just a little bit positive, he's drawn around all the speed. He's sort of in the middle of Jolly Star and Aditi, and if they show a bit of initiative and push, it should end up sort of 4th, 5th, something like that, and extremely hard to beat from that spot.
All right, Kind Words is the knockout roughie.
Yeah, so it missed
in
the
the
start
Lee's colours out the back.
This was a weird day at Newcastle. The results were really strange. It seemed a bit laney, and I don't really know what was going on. The rider didn't really give this horse much of a chance. It was first up. It's down the outside. It doesn't look flashy at all, but its earlier runs, like its first preparation, were really good, and just sort of treating this as a clean out and with the blinkers going on. She's just the knockout horse in the race that I thought, sort of 20-1 plus you'll be getting. She sort of gets wound up a little bit late, but I'm just treating that as a barrier trial completely and forgetting that run, saying with the blinkers she could be a different horse, and she's the only horse that stands out to me that could just improve super sharp, and at 20-1 I don't want her to beat me.
I haven't had a crack at the Reginald Allen yet. Any of you boys had a look in Melbourne? I haven't got to it yet.
No, a few of those horses like Kundalini and Aditi, like they've got a lot of 2-year-old form. So now getting to 1,400, like I think Aditi would have to be a question mark at that distance. And Kundalini, if her form doesn't hold up, it probably does lend for something that sort of, outside of the market to really get involved. But that was a huge win. Last up by Arctic Glamour, although she might not have beat much. She couldn't win much better, really, and she could be one out of the box.
All right, race 7 is the Everest DK. Question without notice. Did you were sitting up there with the bottle of red watching the Everest barrier draw, mate?
Oh, yeah, mate, yeah. Yeah, no, yeah. Wouldn't even know what draws. I wish I wins drawn 1, that's all, because I've seen 1,000 posts about it. That's all I know. I wouldn't know what anything else is drawn.
Did you not watch it? Did you not watch someone put the sprinklers on and then someone with a $3 projector behind it shooting the numbers into the sky?
I saw you tweeting about it, Walt. That was all I saw, but it must have been a bit of a show.
Mate, they were sitting there on the boat looking out the window at a sprinkler with a projector behind it that you couldn't even make out what the names or numbers were. Could you? Like, what? Oh, wouldn't you just... who cares? Like, money, whatever. But you'd love to know the figure that they paid, wouldn't you? Like, you'd just love to know what the people made out. Like, it would be just laugh. It would be just so funny. I'd love to know.
Mate, they're just what are they? They're lubing us up for when they actually run the Everest across the Sydney Harbour Bridge.
Well, that's what I mean. Like,
That's what's next.
We lit up the Opera House there one year. Oh, that was great, whatever. And now we're back to a sprinkler. Like, what?
Yeah, it's
Tell you what.
big fall from grace, isn't it?
Oh my
Now
goodness.
you're just on the boat, whereas before
Yeah.
everything was like, the grouse set up, and now you're just on a boat with. Yeah, it was.
You
funny.
should have just had like Bjorn on the roof taking an article of clothing off for every horse that came out and screaming it or something. It would have been more interesting.
entertaining. He's very entertaining.
Yeah,
isn't
it would have
he?
been more fun. But anyway,
Too
whatever.
good. Let's get into the market courtesy Top Sport. Think about it's the favourite here, $4.60, drawn 5. I wish I wins the big drifter, $4.80. Private Eye $5.50 in from 7. Cylinder $7.50, overpass $10. Hawaii 5.0 $12. In Secret $12. Bonus Notches $14. Espiona $16. Shinzu $17. Alcohol free $41. And then you got Marzu $51. And then down to the emergencies, which is Bellum, Nipotine, Zapateo, King of Sparta, and Valana. A couple of replays here for reference. The first one we're going to have a look at, I think it's the shorts. It's Private Eye sitting, 3 wide, punching.
Yeah, so it's 3 wide first up, overpass first up. In front, you got In Secret coming to the outside of Private Eye, is it? No, it's coming. Eventually it does. Bonus Notches is inside it, so they're the 2 looking for runs. So they're the 4 that are in this race. So it's overpass in front. Went too slow for mine, which sort of helped Private Eye a little bit, sitting 3 wide, but they're quite dominant for mine. You look at Bonus Notches, they already had a run in a trial, and for me, I don't think it was getting past those leaders if they went another 400 metres and In Secret the same. So, yeah, my opinion on that race is that the 2 horses up in front have had a trial since they were first up there, and I don't see how the other 2 can possibly sort of turn the tables on them.
All right, the next one we're going to have a look at is Think About It.
So it's box seating here, yellow cap behind the leader, and the other horse is Hawaii 5.0 in the blue cap, the Singo colours coming down the outside. It was first up, Hawaii 5.0 second up, but as it sort of said, he's like a 650 kilo horse. So to me, it's pretty much like they're both first up is how I'm treating this race. Think About It certainly sort of gets clear quite early and maybe floats a bit because I think Hawaii 5.0 is going to go past him. And I did hear that even Nash thought he was going to get there, and he feels that the Think About It did lift. So he's got that quality, hasn't he? Sort of 11 starts, 10 wins, drawn ideally. He's going to get his chance here, but it's just whether that form, maybe is a length short of the other horse's form. I like just the 2 stablemates, Private Eye and Think About It. I think Private Eye to me, he's got the quality, he's got the mile form, and I Think About It's probably a very adaptive horse too. But yeah, as close as a Y50 got there, how do you treat the race? I'm saying they've got good chances. He's just a little bit short in the betting is my only worry with Think About It compared to those other 3 that we've sort of highlighted there.
Thoughts, Nico?
Yeah, I was with Think About It. I think the 1200 metre lead up is a good lead up for the 1200 metre race. I think he'll take good improvement out of that first up run. And yeah, I think that's probably the thing with this horse. Like, he's a winner, but he's never really massacred a field, has he? Just kind of gets the job done. But in a faster run race, you saw in the Stradbroke in a faster run race, he sort of was pretty good. And that high pressure come out in that Group 1. So I think high pressure will suit him. Gets a good run from the map. You think Private Eye's riding play? I'm surprised Private Eye's 550. I thought you'd probably get a little better, but
I think there is a little bit better around, yeah.
Run a great race in this race last year, obviously behind Gear Kick, and then Hawaii 5.0 is flying. And then what do you do with I Wish I Win? He's off a very unconventional sort of preparation. I don't think Barrier 1's that bad. What do you think, DK?
I think he's a better horse, blending and building momentum and swooping, but I don't know.
I reckon. Do you reckon? Like, so I had a good look at this horse, and I don't think he's the sort of back market sprinter that sharp. He's not that. He really does need to go through his gears to hit top gear, and then he doesn't die on his run. So I like gate 1 for that sort of horse. He's going to need room 400 out, is what I think.
Yeah, well, Luke Nolan got him that in the Memsey. I know this is a different race. That was a 1,400 metre low pressure race compared to a 1,200 metre Everest, but he does seem to rise to the occasion more often than not, Luke Nolan. He's got a great record in Group 1, so Yeah, it's a fascinating horse to assess. I think if you got sort of $6 and $4, I wish I win and think about it. That'd probably be the play for mine, but I would love it to be a bit wetter. I wish I win. I think he does seem to relish those real wet conditions, but I found it very hard to go past thinking about it. In Secret does get a big jockey change for Zach Burton going on, but all her forms at Flemington really that would suggest she's up to these. So yeah, I was thinking about it from I wish I win and probably Hawaii 5-0, the overachiever.
I like it. It's good that it's opposing, yeah.
Yeah, of the middle pinners, I thought Hawaii 5-0 as well. I said, you see it a lot. Like, it was up the front first up, but I thought Nash really found the key to it second up, riding it that bit quieter and then just savage the line's going to lose nothing in J-Mac. Goes on, I think, doesn't he? So barrier one concerns, but he's going to be three back. I'd say he's going to be three back the rail. They do run along in this race. It's going to have to extract and wind it up. The unconventional prep, everything's been said. Like we said, what's he doing at 1400 first up at Moody? Yeah, I don't know. Don't know about this, which I wanted to ping for it. Sorry, what?
Yeah, no, you're right. No, just like even like a windy up, or like a horse that takes. You want him to be fresher than, and coming off 1,000 to a 12 to me, he's going to be fresher than 14 back to 12. Even though he did obviously knock up there, he was underdone. Yeah, I think it's against him 14 back to 12 to being sharp as opposed to 1,000 to 12. So, yeah, I think if he's sort of going to overcome that, and I'm Private Eye, Hawaii 5-0, and Overpass is just the forgotten horse still for mine that can. So I just loved it. Stroll. I think Josh he rode a horse yesterday at Warwick Farm where he got the first 400 cheap and made him pay. Sort of built from the 8 and took off, and I think he's going to try and do something similar here. And who's going to be the horse that's going to sacrifice himself in this race to put pressure onto him? I can't really see anything. Maybe alcohol-free, maybe, because it's just not in the race.
Will have to go across though, won't it?
What's that?
Marzu.
Well, why would they sacrifice themselves? That's the only thing. Like Gay's got a couple in the race, and it probably suits both of her horses if she makes it a test with alcohol-free, and she's got the big fella rolling down the outside as well. So that's the only thing that makes sense to me is if alcohol-free tries to make it a 1,400-metre race, because that's its only chance of really being in the finish.
Yeah, it's a funny. Yeah, it's a tricky. Yeah, I just think I wish I wins the most explosive horse. I thought I went back and had a look at some of his replays, and I don't think he was trying at all when he ran in the Lightning, and I thought his finish there was quite good when they asked him to quicken. And I can sort of see what you're saying a little bit, but I don't really care about the preparation. I think Moody's just not tried to give him a gut buster first up, which he didn't get. The way I look at it, I just see that he just wasn't, didn't have any condition, and he still, finished alongside a Mr. Brightside, Princess Grace, and the horse was probably at, 85% fit. So I'm treating I Wish I Win just coming here first up off a trial, because that's what that race was. Luke Nolan sitting in the sheds all day, having 30 cigarettes, just priming himself is the biggest concern here. He has not got a ride on the rest of the card, which absolutely terrifies me. But that's if you had J-Mac or someone else, I think it'd be an absolute great bet and an absolute steal. But
the worry is if they're coming home in 33 and you've got 7 horses around you running home that are capable of running home in 33, where's he going to go?
But Hawaii 5 I thought was the big danger. He's going to be out in clear air, and
that's it. Those horses out there, if there's carnage on the inside, they should get the clean air to wind up, and that's the advantage, isn't it?
And then, I don't know about the 3-year-olds, but obviously 3-year-olds sort of set up okay, but couldn't back Cylinder and Shinzu. If their money comes for Shinzu, just watch out, because connections in camp are just shifty as they come. So I'd be very wary of that lameness if it was a genuine lameness. But what a cracking race. But Hawaii 5-0, poor old Tristan might have to duck and cover if Singo wants to have a bet there.
You think he will? I didn't click on anything this morning. I saw some big dispute about ownership between him, Hadley, and Alan Jones. Was it to do with this horse, or not? Alan Jones was Jerry Harvey, but I don't know whether it was to do with this horse. But I know they were filthy that Nash is not riding him, so he'll absolutely enjoy this as much as anyone he's ever had. Singo, if J-Mac jumps on and the big fellow winds up down the outside.
Shouting the 40 or 50,000 or however many.
Well, he's just liquidated everything else, so I'm thinking cash flow's no issue at the moment. So he'll share it around.
Be an absolute beauty. Cracking race. All right, race 8 is the Silver Eagle, the entree to the Golden Eagle, which is the Golden Eagle is actually the richest race. $5 million if you win the Golden Eagle. which should
To the winner.
surprise some because it's been marketed as the biggest race, the Everest, which is not really the case once you strip back, carving up the money to the slot holders and all that sort of thing. But the Silver Eagle is
The
one of the...
sprinklers, 1.2 million extra.
What's that?
The sprinklers.
Silver Eagle, surprising favourite here, Yellow Brick, $3.80, got beaten in the Wheatwood up at Toowoomba, but it still holds favouritism here. Pericles, $4.20. Interesting that I think this horse is the more shorter distance horse. Benedetta, one of ours, $4.80. Ruthless Dame, $8. Gaza Blanca, $9.50. Kaboo, $10. Vienna Princess, $13. New Endeavour, $16. Madame Pomeroy, 21, Grubini, 31, and that probably rounds out the major chances there. Replay we're going to have a look at here, Walt, is Ruthless Dame.
Yeah, so obviously this is the lead-up run we just showed with Overpass. So Ruthless Dame's back in the pom-pom there in the blue. 1,100 metres, weight for age. I think they went out about 6 below and ripped home. That's not going to suit Ruthless Dame, but she sort of sticks with him. That's Marzu behind her. So he's running in the Everest. I know he's, 30-1 chance, but she's beaten home one of the contenders for the Everest in this 1,100 metre race. It's definitely not her go. Again, just an absolute barrier trial. She sort of levels out, maybe peaks a little bit late, but that's absolutely fine. 11 straight to 1,400 metres. She's got form around in secret. Sunshine in Paris. It doesn't get any better from, a filly's perspective. And the Stradbroke. And I think this is definitely a target race. Like she's just going to go bang, bang into the Golden Eagle or whatever it is. And I just can't understand how a horse like her, who's clearly on target, being set a program and looks like it's ticked every box, is $8. And Pericles, who has had 2 1,400 metre runs, was favourite for an Epsom, was scratched during the week, now drops back to 1,300 metres, is sort of favourite. Yellow Brick Road with, midweek benchmark forms, $3.80, and who else is in the betting?
Benedetta, I thought they were going to go to the Manicato for Benedetta, so this seems like a different plan altogether.
It's up in
Why
distance
would you
too,
take
right?
on Imperatrice? That just seems madness.
That'd be why.
And the money, he's crazy. And she's the query runner, but it's interesting. But I can't understand why it's not favourite. Ruthless Dame.
1,300 for Benedetta.
Yeah, it'd be a question mark for sure.
And then Kaboo, where's he at?
Well, he's like that, right? You couldn't back him in anything off that last run. Gay's got 2 horses in this race. There's a Coin Toss and New Endeavour that have both come over from the UK. Apparently, New Endeavour's the better of the two at the moment, but they're sort of hard to line up. Yeah, if they win this race too good, I think they probably both want the 1,500 or further. I just keep coming. Yeah, it's just
Keep
seems
coming
a
back to her.
no-brainer.
She seems
It's
like a
just
good
weird,
bet.
especially like each way. Jockey suits it. Put perfect draw. I don't think she'll get too far back here. Like she'll probably be sort of in front of midfield or midfield at worst. No brainer.
Cool. All right, we'll pull the trigger on Ruthless Dame. I'm sure Az will be watching the show and he'll be licking his lips. It's definitely one of his horses. He loves her. Make sure you check out racingwatch.com.au to get Walt's analysis. A bit of a hat tip too. Super hopeful, I think the horse was in the last race.
It was well named because I think we were absolutely cast coming into the last. We were super helpful it'd win. I think $70 on the tote. Hippo gave it the career ride.
Unbelievable. So Walt rated it $14 on his sheet. So
normal case. You send it out as like the value play, this, that, and the other, the 40-1 shops, and you get the old 5 unsubscribes 10 seconds after the race from the people who don't like roughies. But I think it saved more than it hurt. So God bless the Hippo.
Amazing. I can't understand that. You find a $70 winner rated $14, and I don't know. Do people want you to bet for them?
No, it is what it is.
That's amazing.
It's just the what is it? The way some punters think, and there's nothing worse than being tipped a roughie and it lobbing,
and you haven't backed it.
So I get it. It's just how punters think.
They just get air sickness. They see the price and think, oh, that can't win, and you know what? They can.
Part of the great game. It's hard to stay level.
Beautiful. So racingwatch.com.au, Telegram, or the Discord channel, both very entertaining and very good things to do. Caulfield Race 9 is Scooty's Moral, 1,600 metres, Caulfield Guineas. Militarizer's favourite here, $2.90 into $2.80. Stepati, Rick McIntosh's horse, $3.90. $7 King Colorado. Shalite, one of DK's $13. V8, $15. Centify, $17. Little Bros, $21. Griff, 21, Southport Tycoon, 21, and then you got Wolfie, 21, Verdad, looks like a nice horse, $26, and that rounds out the race. I'm going to have a look at 2 replays here. The first one is Militarized. His back sort of buried on the fence, and I think the horse beside him that he starts bumping into was King Colorado, and what's the other the Mar runner? They just go like sort of
Nadal,
that's it. Yeah, I couldn't quite place him, but he's sort of just in a buffeting duel with him, and then once he gets out, his last sort of 200 metres is sort of electrifying, like the character it takes for a horse to be bustling around like a pinball and then to finish like that. That's something that sort of sticks out to me when I sort of look at doing the replays. And with a little bit of rain sort of softening up the track so it's not going to be a road, I think Militarised brings all that good 2-year-old form on the wet tracks. He's proven at the mile, and I was a bit scared for the opposition when I heard Chris Waller saying that he's going to peak on this weekend, because that run was an absolute bottler in the Golden Rose, and the Sydney form usually shapes up pretty solid down in Caulfield Town. Stapati and the other Caulfield Guineas prelude here, you've got Southport Tycoon, and you got V8 there, Centre Fire's in there, but the two runs were just huge down the outside here. Stapati wins the race, but coming across his heels was DK's horse, Shalite, and I thought it was every bit as good as Stapati. And then Stapati is, you have to sort of take $3.70, and then the other horse, Shalite, who charges to the line as well, he's around $14. So I think Militarises the Scooty moral, but if there's a roughie or a knockout, I thought the value play that you could perhaps save would be Shalite. Maybe they haven't got to the bottom of him, and he just looks like a horse too, that if they get too much rain, he's proven with a bit of cut out of the track as well. He's got some really good performances on soft track going. DK, thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I had a good look at it. I think you're right, Scoot. I think, I went and had a good look at his sectionals. I've looked at them both first up and second up, Militarised, and it was more, even the last 100 the other day. The way he can lift his speed, he's sort of been slow, hasn't been able to build momentum before, like he's been slow before the turn, say the 6 to the 4, something like that, and then just unleashes this big turn of foot, eating the line. That's prime for a mile third up. Three-time Group 1 winner already. Gets drawn to build that momentum and wind up and let rip here. I think that form's a little bit stronger, than a little bit stronger. I think it's just marginally stronger, that Sydney form, than the Melbourne Colts or the Melbourne 3-year-olds. They all finished four across the line there with what, a long head between them or something like that. So Shalite just can't draw a barrier, but it can go back and follow something into the race. I think Militarised looks. He could just go whooshka down the middle here. Whooshka. What do you think, Nico?
Yeah, I kind of agree. I think it's a good race to be out and wide too. Like we saw Animo, sort of Press Statement, a few of the other, class colts that come down from Sydney. It's sometimes a great race just to be building your momentum wide on the track and not be caught in a bit of traffic, because there is a few roadblocks here that you will not want to get stuck behind, and a few of them are going to be forward. I think that's probably the challenge for, King Colorado, Stapati, Centify, drawn 5, 7, 8, do they try and get out early, or are they going to weave their way through? But there's going to be horses that are going to be stopping in front of them. So although I think it's a tactical advantage for Stapati, I don't necessarily think the map's a huge advantage for him, because I think he's surrounded by horses that are worse than what Militarised will be surrounded by. Militarised can kind of just get out and build his own momentum. So I think you need quite a good ride from John Allen, but these are bloody good horses to party, but Militarised just might be a little better.
Oh, you'd love it. I mean, the heart says, you do see Benny Spall's thing he did the other day. The heart says you want, for us Victorians and for country Victorians, wants Stapati to win, Prushka and all the people from St Arnaud and Horsham and things like that. And he's a great horse. And put it in Rick McIntosh, very passionate racing man. So the heart says you'd love to see him win, but the head and doing that analysis looks like Militarised, and I don't think we deviate away from, I think, what Walt said a week or two ago. He wins this and into the full steam into the Cox Plate. There's a bloody live chance to win it.
Just summed up pretty much it. That's it. I don't even have to say anything. The only thing it'd be interesting is the price. Will they risk it? Will we get $3 plus?
Hope so.
The bet just gets bigger. I think only Caulfield can beat it. It's the only thing that can beat it, and I don't think it can. Magic Man, and we've been really sort of critical of at times over the spring. He's not shown his best, but the way he's been riding in Sydney, and for him to go to Melbourne to ride this horse when you've got Everest and things that he no doubt would have picked a ride up in is a very good sign that this horse is pretty special.
I think you'll get $3, like wide gate, first time Melbourne. Think there'll be a bit of that in the market. So I'd be surprised if he got $3.50, but I think you'll get $3.
Agree.
The other good thing is Joe's got he's got a ride on red card in race 4, so he can have a bit of a spin around the track. He's not going to be like Trumby having 20 darts and then just going in fresh for the one ride on I Wish I Win. So I can, I guess, settle the nerves if he even has any. He's got Ruben Moss in race 7, so wow, he can use a couple as a bit of a spin around, and then he just gets to.
Mate, he'll give this the full Zach Lloyd, but the way he rode, say, what's your horse, Kovalika, in the way he rides horses from back in the field and sums up races, whether he has to save ground if they've gone slow or he can tell that, the tempo's on early, he just starts trying to find the right back to drag himself into the race. He's about as good as a back-marking rider as I think there is. So, yeah, as I said, he'll run up he'll get stuck in the telephone box now that I've said that, but, he's in rare form for mine.
Beautiful. All right, we've given that a big push. So this could be the week that we get the TopSport Top 2 promo over the line. So we'll go militarise in race 9 into Nico's special there, Amelia's Jewel. So 100 at $3.25 per customer. So both of them have to finish top 2. We've bit the kiss of death there. So fingers crossed everything goes right there and we can launch you that. So that's now live on the TopSport website if you've got an account with them. So make sure you snap that one up. And also puntingform.com.au is how I do the form. So I can just flip-flop around anywhere and do the form quick as a flash. So have punting form will travel is my motto. Best form guide in the business for someone like me who's terrible with computers. Someone else who is terrible with computers is Anthony Don. He's been sending his little videos in via the mobile because his computer's got some sort of virus. But here he is.
Best bets this weekend, Eagle Farm. First one is Little Nick's race 1. Much easier race this start. Held up slightly last start. Should roll forward for Maloney. Hard to beat. Race 6, Mission of Love. Walt stopped it last start, but I think he can settle much closer. Has an engine and will finish over the top. Good luck, gents.
Interesting one.
I love
Sydney
the detail.
horse.
Do you love the detail?
Not much. I love the picture of the surfboard. He's got his own head on the surfboard.
That's when you know.
That's how famous he is.
That's when you know.
Yeah. Little Mix is an interesting one. Sydney form dropping back from 2,400 to 2,200. I haven't got there yet. Ostermeyer was a good result for us last start, but
yeah, it's
camel race this.
Yeah, had a long break before it resumed and sort of a bit of a slug. Little Mix, but it's a bit of a slug race in at 2,200. I mean that with all due respect to one pace horses. I haven't had a good look, to be honest.
And then race 6 is Mission of Love. That was the horse that you liked last week, and I think yours was beaten a length and a ton of delight. The one I liked was beaten ahead, so we were all around it, but fresh aired it. Yeah,
and a mile will suit this horse by the look of it. It paraded, from all due reports, as a lot better last start. It was given no winning chance to win the race, but
great run. Yeah,
great run. Not the sort of horse you want to have your life on in life, but and we were sort of getting a little bit better price last time. But yeah, she's got a huge engine. She's got a huge engine, and hopefully she's put in the race in time to show it.
Oh, well, Jaden Lloyd owes us one. Or was it so Donny thought with Brosnan last week? Yeah. I don't think he did a lot wrong. He could have.
No, it was just very short.
Positive.
It was just very short. I think it had its chance.
Yeah. Bit of no ping. Anyway, let's have a look at TopSport Steamers. Macarena, as I said last week, was good. They keep backing Solcombe. So there's no Solcombe this week. He's not running, but you watch next week, they'll be all over it. The first one is race 4, number 5, RAF Attack, 250 at $11. Interesting race, this gloaming, Walt. I sort of found, what's this? This is the Tom Kitten race, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, but it's the 1,800 metre start, which is really tough. It's on a bend, so RAF Attack's drawn inside, which is huge for it, whereas the stablemate Gambari is drawn 18. So you would expect that Hippo will try and fire it across. There's that other horse, that noisy boy. It's another one. What's it doing in this race? Went nuts last start in this, the lead up to this, whatever it was. And, sort of went way too quick. So hopefully they put the anchors on it and they set a more reasonable tempo here because they can sort of overdo it from that 1,800 metre start. But I'm not going to knock RAF Attack at the price, but I think the stablemate's a better horse, Gambari, if he gets over. And then you've got Snowman, who's drawn ideally, and Tom Kitten, drawn absolutely perfect with Nash, and he'll have a point to prove after sort of half carving it its last 2 starts. So, yeah, it's a good race.
Tom Kitten punters, they wouldn't have any left. Nico, you're a blue jacket man.
I haven't looked at the race, but he wasn't given much chance last start, so he's got ability. He might be looking for 1,800, so couldn't knock.
He hasn't even got near his grand final yet. Like people like you, what do they call it? Pre-cum. You got to wait till these horses get to the right race. And I think, the next 2 starts, Tom Kitten will show what it's all about. But there are some horses with good ability in it.
Speaking of that, I got a little bit when I saw Tannhauser in the Ming Dynasty. He was set a monster task. He was miles back, and then I think he just ran out of petrol tickets. So, there's a couple of horses that had already been first or second up, and he was only beaten sort of 4 lengths. So I saw $18 Tannhauser, but when I saw that, it was already into $10 or $11, and now it's in $8.50. So missed the price. Sharpshooters have knocked off Tannhauser, and J-Mac's got the ride now over Zach Lloyd.
Imagine the poor bloke who's tapped your phone and listening to you dribble and then sniping your prices. He'll be at Centrelink on Monday.
He will be. Race 4, number 5, $308 on Grey River for you, Nico.
Yeah, well, Red Card's favourite, and she burnt a lot of punters last start at $1.40, so that form looks a little bit iffy. And then a few of the other lead-up form doesn't look that great as well. So she's pretty consistent, Grey River. She usually runs up to her best. And, yeah, I know a few people sort of found her at $8, and I thought she's probably one of the key chances if you're looking for a bit of DF. So, yeah, could definitely come in there.
Can't really add much more to that one. Race 9, number 4, Party. This could be Rick's bet, 2,000 at $3.70. We've already discussed that one, so good luck to Connections there. Be a great story, as DK said. And this could be Nico's here. Race 10, number 3, Amelia's Jewel. So 1,500 at $2.35. Looks like it's good shopping, and I'd be interested to see what they do with that one.
It's good that she's last race.
Builds it.
Holy cow! There's going to the results from the corporates. Everyone on the Chevy. Sets it up nicely, doesn't it?
Great.
Nico, imagine Nico. His butthole could be it's a pinhole come to the last if he's got all ups alive and she parades enormous. And,
militarised, hopefully.
Second leggers of the double, the TopSport double. Everyone.
Gosh,
everyone.
Too
DK will be relaxed.
Too smart, Blanksby, putting those races on late, Everest Day and the whole thing. Good on him.
Yeah. Yeah, absolute cracker. The turnover.
Common sense.
Turnover tweet on Monday will be up year on year.
Yeah. That's an absolute corker.
Might be up 80% like New South Wales is. Up you go, PBL.
Bookies will want a very, very, very big lead coming into before 5 o'clock on Saturday. Indeed,
you got to watch it.
What?
The one thing that the PVL, when he's getting interviewed and he goes, Singo, he says, I've always loved him. He said, he reminds me of Tom Selleck in Hawaii 5-0. Well, Tom Selleck, known for his mustache, Singo never had one. Hawaii 5-0 never had Tom Selleck in it. He was in Magnum PI, not Hawaii 5-0.
Got the wrong one.
And it's one of the great. He went on for 3 minutes about it. It was just awesome. Awesome. And I said joke if anyone pulled him up on it, he'd just ring up Wikipedia and just update that. Would you just change the name of Magnum PI to Hawaii 5-0, please?
Could be the first sign of weakness for the Emperor.
He might make
He might be losing it.
No, he might make Singo come out in a mustache on Saturday. We'll see how big his power is.
Jesus.
World class, the big fella.
I'm going to leave it there. But DK, heading, I reckon you're seeing him really well. It's just pilot error at the moment with you.
What are you talking about?
Well, didn't he lob a big plunge the week ago, 11 to 2 chance?
Yeah, I know. So he's in form. So the only way he gets beat is if there's a pilot error.
What was the pilot error? It won last week.
No, I know.
Should have won by further.
You're flying. I'm saying you're going really well. You should be on a big roll.
Yeah. No, I struggled this week. Tatura's. There's no Ruggeri's going around there this week. Nico Morals there from the last meeting. No good horses like that going around, and Cranbourne only one that I was warming to form wise, and then it's one of Trent's in race 1 or something off 1,000 metres. I'm going, no. So it's $2.80 or $3, and Militarise is $2.80 or $3. So mate, you can. I'll jump on them. I'll put more weight on Militarise. Thanks. Nothing out wide. Militarise for me.
All right. I thought you might fall into Cranbourne. Time of my life. P Moody, $2.50.
That's race 1, and it won its maiden, but it didn't run any figures. So anyway, Reveline or something in race 2 ran into that full sister of Lofty Strike the other day, but it's Trent. So I can't tip him. I can't tip the punters into Trent. So no.
Well, you can hear the demons inside. That's the best part. They're just sitting on one of you. Come on, DK, do it. Come on. Trent can get one home.
You're right. I was there for 45 minutes this morning, Walt. Umming and ahhing and finding ways and looking whether to run the 1200 and breeding and watching the replay 4 times, finding anything I could on the horse. And I was just the demons going, because you got to G yourself up, isn't it? The punt, you got to steel yourself to bet and tip. And I was just fucking, I couldn't do it to myself.
Sometimes you got to go back to those little notes you used to talk about. You used to write, DK, 1,000-metre form.
Yeah, 1,000 metres. That was the 2. That was the double. Yeah. Like if it was off 1,100, I reckon I could have tipped it. But it's off 1,000 metres and trained by Trent. So I said, no, got the double winning.
Just stick your guns.
Yeah.
Please call us the day that you buy a tried horse from Trent Bussett and put us all in it, please, because it's going to jump out of the ground.
All right, we'll do.
The day will come.
The day will come.
Yeah.
We'll all be racing this.
Can't believe we got our bid on that thing yesterday. I cannot believe it.
It's still just so hot at the moment, there's tried horse sales, isn't it?
What about that thing Calabasas? What was it? It went for like 350 or something. Oh, my God, damn.
Crazy.
Yeah. Oh, God. It's unbelievable.
Western Empire, Pole, and there's a lot of horses, and then just the market. Everyone's got a lot of money despite the cost of living crisis that we're all surviving. It'll be a cost of living crisis if Militarized doesn't win on Saturday. I'll have cap in hand. I don't know how I'll get through.
It's tough. Like they're all 6-4 or 2-1. Like you got to kind of couple them up, and then if the first one gets beat, it's so much pain. You just want to sort of
steal yourself.
Just get off to a smooth start, don't you? You need
a smooth start because everyone's going to be steaming late into Militarized and Miller's Duel. It's going to be big late for everyone.
Kettle Hill, smooth start. Yeah. Get him home, punters.
Last winter I backed at Caulfield was Sweet Chassis, I think. When was that? About 2008 or something. So
yeah, it's a long time ago.
Where'd you?
Oh, we're going better than Gay. Just fine, not the Caulfield Cup. The micro shares holders would be absolutely livid with that one. Have a great weekend, Nico. I'm sure you'll shoot the lights out from the yard. DK, no doubt you're going to terrorise me at the Gold Coast at some stage. I'm pretty busy.
I'm going to be parked in the penthouse at Jupiter's for the weekend, watching the races and punting. So and plenty of other business. So look out.
Couple of beers.
I wish I went sneaks up the fence. Or what did that guy call it from New Zealand? The boys.
Oh, that was the beauty. You know who that was? I think that was Dan Carter, the All Black.
Jeez, he's gone downhill. If it is, he doesn't look real well.
Is he?
Mate, he used to be chiseled. He used to be like God. David Beckham. He used to look like God.
One wish, one win.
Something, he called it terrible. It was great. But if it gets up the fence, I won't be here next week. I can't deal with Scoot.
My one wish, one win will be Militarized this weekend. Have a great Caulfield Guineas and Everest day. Make sure you open an account with TopSport. Take full advantage of that top 2 promo. This will be our weekend, and we'll see you next week. Can't wait.